You are live.
All right, cool. Say what's up. Figure
What's
out the
up?
phone.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? We are live on YouTube. This is Mets Daily, the first live edition of Mets Daily. Opening day is here. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Merry Chrysler, everybody. The baseball season has begun. Day one of 162 from March 27th and hopefully the Mets until November 7th when we're on a trip down the Canyon of Heroes. It starts today. You will remember this moment. You will remember this day in infamy. The start of a Mets World Series championship season has begun. Are you ready? It's showtime. Make sure you subscribe to Mets Daily. Click that thumbs up right now. We appreciate your support. We are live. Let us know in the chat. You see us, you hear us. Make sure we are aware that we're working out a bunch of kinks here. We want to make sure that this goes well and we could continue doing live streams. Let us know right now in the chat if you're here, if you're watching. Let us know. We are tweeting it out. Mets opening day live stream. Again, follow Mets Daily Show on X. We are live right now. We want to hear your predictions for opening day. It's here. Opening day in Houston. It's Clay Holmes' birthday. Happy birthday to Clay Holmes. He's the birthday boy, and he's making his first start since 2018. Can you believe it? This guy is finally on the hill. Unbelievable. Can't wait. We are live. Let us know your comments in the chat, your thoughts on the 2025 New York Mets. What do you think, folks? How you feeling about this team right now? Do you feel good? Do you feel great? I'll read your comments. Fan Arch, how we doing? Oliver, how we doing? Mary, how we doing? How's everybody doing today? We are definitely live. It is working. We are live. Let's go Mets, says Theo. This is Mets Daily Live. We will have a live post-game show today as well for you. Hopefully we get a good game. But listen, I feel great about this Mets team. I feel very good about the New York Mets. This is a special season upon us. And it begins today. So let's get through it. Now that we worked out the kinks, we are live. This is Mets Daily. I'm Jake Brown at Jake Brown Radio. You see it here. This is your opening day lineup. Let's run through it, baby. Clay Holmes on the mound, making his first starts in 2018. Leading off for your New York Mets. There it is. The captain, or soon to be, Francisco Lindor. That's right. I did do opera in the fifth grade talent show in between the acts of Yankee Doodle Dandy. Batting second for his first game with the New York Mets. You know him. He's a generational talent, the biggest contract in the history of sports. That's Juan Soto. Juan Soto batting second. And that'll be the 1-2 punch all season long for all 162. It's Lindor and Soto. Batting third will be Pete Alonso, back and trying to break the home run record. He's 27 homers away. Pete Alonso is batting third. Batting fourth for the Mets will be third baseman Mark Vientos. Batting fifth is Brandon Nimmo playing left field. And now the Mets against lefties will have Vientos clean up, Nimmo fifth. Against righties, it'll be Nimmo fourth, Vientos fifth. So the Mets have some flexibility there. Batting sixth with, again, the lefty, Framber Valdez on the hill. It'll be Starling Marte at DH. And the Mets, again, will platoon there. Winker against righties, Marte against lefties. Batting seventh, this was the one surprise in today's lineup. We thought opening day they'd see Jose Siri. It'll be Tyrone Taylor in center field batting seventh, not Jose Siri. So Siri's Mets debut, we'll have to wait another day. The reasoning, I don't know. I think part of it was maybe the Astros have a good read on Jose Siri being a former Astro. Maybe they know what Framber Valdez can attack him with. I don't think there's any real true reason. The Mets just decided to go with Taylor. Maybe they feel Taylor covers more ground with that deep center field in that ballpark in Houston. So Taylor will get the start hitting 7th. No surprise to me. I know surprise to some Met fan. I don't know why. I told you they're going to platoon. But Luis Angel Acuna will be batting 8th, again, against the lefty for the Mets. Luis Angel Acuna playing 2nd, batting 8th. Batting 9th, Luis Torrens at catcher. So that's your opening day Mets lineup. You want a breakdown of what these guys do against lefty Framber Valdez? Well, let's give it to you. Francisco Lindor, in his career, hits 125. 8 at-bats, 125, meaning 1 for 8 in his career against Valdez. Juan Soto, in his career against Framber Valdez, hitting 400 with 1 RBI. He's 2 for 5 in his career against Valdez. Pete Alonso against Valdez. He is 3 for 8 with 2 RBIs against Framber Valdez. So hitting 375 is Pete Alonso. Mark Vientos against Framber Valdez, hitting 4 in that cleanup spot. Vientos, 1 for 3 with a home run. So watch out for Mark Vientos. He's homered off Valdez. He's the only Met in the lineup today that has a home run off of Framber Valdez. So Mark Vientos 4th. Brandon Nimmo, 10 at-bats. He's 2 for 10 with 1 RBI against Valdez. Starling Marte, 15 at-bats, hitting 267 against Valdez. So I believe that is 6 for 15, if my math is correct, against him. Batting 7th, Tyrone Taylor, 0 for 2. So this wasn't a matchup thing. You know, Jose Siri is 1 for 5. Tyrone Taylor is 0 for 2 with a 333 OPS. So I assume he has a walk against him. Siri with a 600 OPS, a 200 average. So this was not a matchup thing between Siri and Taylor, hitting 7th. These are two guys with similar numbers against Valdez. Hitting 8th, Acuna, no at-bats, obviously, against Valdez. And then hitting 9th for the Mets, Luis Torrens. He is 167 against Valdez in 12 at-bats. So those are the matchups against Framber Valdez. Framber Valdez, one of the better lefties in the sport, coming off a season with a 2.91 ERA, went 15-7 last year, 176 in the third innings, 169 strikeouts. It's a tough opening day matchup for the Mets. The Mets send out Clay Holmes, like I said, on his birthday, first start since 2018, coming off a spring where he showed you a lot, where you'll see that kick change, you'll see that two-seam fastball, you'll see those 2 new pitches, and see how they work in the arsenal against the Houston Astros. The Astros. Their lineup, Jose Altuve, newly playing left field, leading off. Isaac Paredes, who they traded for in the Kyle Tucker deal, is batting 2nd. So they are a very righty-heavy lineup. Their only lefty in the lineup today is hitting 3rd. That's DH Jordan Alvarez, obviously their best hitter. Christian Walker, who I clamored for the Mets to get in the offseason. He is an Astro. The Mets decided to bring Pete back. Walker batting cleanup. He was battling some oblique issues, but he is good to go, and he makes his debut at cleanup. Yainer Diaz batting 5th and catching. Batting 6th is shortstop, young shortstop Jeremy Pena. Batting 7th is Cam Smith, making his debut today. Batting 8th is Brendan Rodgers. Rodgers, if you remember, was at the Rockies his whole career. Astros pick him up. He's batting 8th and playing 2nd. And another righty, Jake Myers, is batting 9th and playing center field for the Astros. Altuve in his career against Clay Holmes, 0 for 3. Paredes in his career against Clay Holmes, 167, 1 for 6. Jordan Alvarez, 2 for 4 with an RBI. Christian Walker, the only guy in the lineup with a home run off Clay Holmes. He's 1 for 2 with a solo homer in his career off of Clay Holmes. Yainer Diaz, 1 for 3 off Holmes. Remember, these guys faced Clay Holmes when he was on the Yankees, so they do have experience going up against him, but never as a starter and never with the kick change. So we'll see how the new pitch, if that ends up being a putout pitch. Jeremy Pena is 1 for 3 off Clay Holmes. Cam Smith, obviously no at-bats. He's a newbie. Rodgers is 0 for 4 against Holmes, and then Myers has never faced Clay Holmes. So those are your matchups. That's kind of the boring stuff. I don't love to get too stat heavy with matchup heavy, but those are the lineups, the averages, everything against them. Let us know in the comments what you think. Make sure you smash that thumbs up on this video right now. We are live on YouTube. This is Mets Daily, the first live edition. It is working well, it looks. Let me know in the comments. Mary is in the comments saying, I am looking forward to seeing Soto in a game that counts. I agree, Mary. Like, we've been waiting. The spring was great. He had all the euphoric moments in the spring, but it's all about the regular season, and he gets the toughest matchup possible. A fellow lefty, a left-hand pitcher going up against him. His at-bats are going to be must-see TV. We're going to be locked in to his at-bats. If you missed yesterday's show, check it out. But my predictions, NL East, I have the Braves winning the division, the Mets finishing in second, the Phillies in third, the Nationals in fourth, the Marlins in last. The Central, I have the Cubs winning the division. The West, I have the Dodgers winning the division. I have the Mets, Phillies, Diamondbacks as wild cards. In the American League, I have the Red Sox winning the division, the Guardians winning the division, the Rangers winning the division, with the Red Sox, Orioles, the Orioles, Astros, Royals as my wild card teams. And I have the Mets defeating the Red Sox for the World Series. Let's go. Hello, Nelson, Theo, Mary, Fan Arch. Hello, everyone. Battle of sinker ballers today. Good point, Nelson. It's two guys who do have an elite sinker. And, you know, Framber Valdez is a guy with plenty of playoff experience. He's pitched at the highest mountain. He's been at the cream of the crop. Clay Holmes has been, but as a reliever. So the two storylines in Mets world is, let's see Clay Holmes on his birthday, by the way. Happy birthday to Clay Holmes. As a starting pitcher for the first time since 2018. Let's see that in real games. And let's see Juan Soto. I think those are the two massive storylines. You know, let's see Acuna. You know, let's see if Acuna can get on base. Can he steal a big bag against the lefty? Remember, he got picked off twice in spring training. Left-hand pitchers are always tougher to steal against. But let's see if Acuna can kind of keep the bags moving, keep the ducks on the pond and moving around town on the base paths. But really the two headlines are Clay Holmes and Juan Soto today. Your two new Mets in real games. Because listen, now that Siri's not playing, you've seen everyone else. You've seen Torrens. You saw Acuna. You've seen Marte. You've seen Nimmo. You've seen Vientos. You've seen Alonso. You've seen Lindor. So today's storyline for the Mets is the new boys, the new guys in town, the new kids in town. Juan Soto in Houston. You know, the other storyline, these right-hand hitters with that Crawford box, whatever you want to call it, in left field, I could see Mark Vientos popping one today. Vientos, the only guy in the Mets lineup with a homer against Framber Valdez. You know, if there were two guys to homer today that I look at Vientos and Soto. Soto just because he has a flair for the dramatic. He homered against a lefty in his first spring game. Will he homer against a lefty in his first regular season game? You know, if you're a betting person, I'd say Soto bases is the bet today, and I'd say Clay Holmes is the bet. His line is 3.5 strikeouts. I think that kick change is going to be a pitch that fools a couple of these young Astros hitters. I like Clay Holmes to strike out 5 guys today on his birthday, and I like Soto to get his first hit as a Met in a game that counts. My prediction for the game, Mets 4, Astros 3. Mets win it 4-3 today over the Astros. Maybe it's a homer pick. I think the Mets are a better overall team than the Astros. I think the Astros are also a playoff team, but I like this Mets roster better than I like the Astros roster. I think the Astros lineup has question marks. They have young talent, but they have a little bit more question marks than the Mets have. Mary is in the chat saying, I think Marte gets a home run. I like it, Mary. Listen, Marte, didn't play a lot of games in spring, but he says he's fine. Starling Marte, homer against a left-hand pitcher. I wouldn't mind it. Marte's, struggled a little bit in the home run department last year, but we know this guy's capable of hitting 20 homers. Marte's in an intriguing spot. Today, the Mets, it was officially announced they've waived Alexander Canario, and I don't see him getting through waivers and coming back. It's unfortunate. The Mets didn't have a spot for him. They couldn't keep 7 outfielders. They just couldn't do it. They could not do it. So Canario's gone. Hayden Sanger will wear number 30. Hayden Sanger, number 30, Let me know in the chat right now, who is a former Mets catcher to wear number 30? The real ones will know. Hayden Sanger, number 30. Who was the last Mets catcher to wear number 30? Let us know in the chat right now. Smash that thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to Mets Daily. Share the Mets Daily channel. Again, we're here all season long. We'll do pre-shows, post-shows, watch parties. You know, if there's a game that's tied in the ninth inning, we'll go live. We will go live. We will watch it. We won't be able to play it because of copyrights, but I'll have it on. We'll watch it. I'll have it in the background, and we'll react live to whatever happens late in games. That'll be right here exclusively on the Mets Daily channel. So make sure, if you're not subscribed, you do subscribe and be a part of the Mets Daily family. Can we cheat? I mean, if you have to. I guess no one knows the answer. The answer is Josh Thole. He did catch R.A. Dickey's no-hitter. The last Mets catcher wearing number 30 was Josh Thole, a very light hitter. Was not a great hitter. But it is Josh Thole. We will not allow cheating. We actually should allow cheating because the Mets are playing the Astros. So this should be the cheating show. Will there be any garbage cans in Houston? You know, I have some Astro fan friends, and we made a couple friendly wagers over this series. I think matchup-wise, the Astros probably are favored in the series. They're favored in this game. They're probably favored. For the Mets, remember the times today. Yeah, Josh Thole stunk, but he did catch R.A. Dickey's no-hitter. Good speed, bottom of the order, not counting Torrens. Yeah, that's what I like when, you know, Taylor can steal too, but that's what I kind of want to see was when we do see Siri, Acuna at the line. If we see Marte, Siri, Acuna steal bags. But, you know, when you talk about stolen base in this lineup, you think about Lindor, you think about Marte, you think of Little Taylor and Acuna. But when this lineup does have Siri in it and Acuna together, you have Lindor, Marte, Siri, Acuna. You got four guys. Taylor is not a huge stolen base threat, but he'll run if he gets a chance. And again, against a lefty, it's going to be tough today to try to run. The garbage cans went to Boston with Bregman. Interesting. Shots fired. Boston and Bregman, my pick out of the American League. I have the Mets over the Red Sox in the World Series. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see. But today it starts. Is there anything better than opening day, guys? When we talk about all sports, there's nothing like it. You're fired up. You woke up this morning like Christmas. I'm itching to get to 4:10 p.m. I'm itching to 4 p.m. to hear do, 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 do. Do 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 do. That SNY theme music, we're itching to hear it. But Mets Daily, again, we'll have a live show right after the game, so stay tuned for that. I'll be live on TikTok as well at Jake Brown Radio. Make sure you follow me on all socials. Smash the thumbs up on this video. But again, that's the news today. Opening day, 4-3 Mets is my prediction. Juan Soto, we'll say he homers in his debut. And that's the lineup. You see it on the screen there. That is what we expect to see today. But the hoopla, it's over. It's time. It's time for real baseball. Oh, man, I'm fired up for the game today. Fired up. And in other news, like I said before, the Mets unfortunately did waive Alexander Canario. I'm sure somebody's going to claim him. If not, the Mets would be lucky if they could find a way to get him back. The Mets also placing Ronnie Mauricio on the injured list. They have replaced Francisco Alvarez on the injured list, which we knew, and Jeff McNeil. They're all on the 10-day IL. Paul Blackburn, Sean Manaea, Frankie Montes on the 15-day IL. And along with Alexander Canario being DFA'd, Jose Azacar has been DFA'd too. And like I said before, Hayden Sanger selected the Major League roster and will wear Josh Thole's old number 30. Now, other players have worn the number 30 since Sanger. Jake Diekman, Rafael Ortega, David Robertson, and Joely Rodriguez. So there have been other 30s, but the first catcher, says Josh Tolley. Another fun little storyline. Ryan Stanek going up against his former squad in Houston today. Getting to see his old teammates, the Mets reliever. I'm sure we might see Stanek at some point today. In terms of Clay Holmes, I think the Mets are going to be careful here. I can't see him going deeper than 6 innings, even if he's dealing. They want to ease him into being a starting pitcher. So I look for Clay Holmes to go somewhere between 5 and 6 innings. But I think he has a good game. I'll probably say 6 innings, 2 runs for Clay Holmes, and I say 4-3, the Mets win it. I think there's going to be a big clutch hit. I'm telling you, Soto's going to do something today. I think late in the game, Juan Soto's going to have a clutch hit and start his Mets career with a bang. And, my hope is just the headache of Pete Alonso in clutch moments doesn't continue. I want Pete to have clutch hits this year during the season that propels the Mets, because there's going to be times, and even today, you're going to have Lindor and Soto on, and I just pray Pete doesn't ground into a double play. So, obviously, it's only one game. It's not a big deal. But I like to see clutch Pete Alonso back this year, because he was absent last year until the game in Milwaukee. So, clutch Pete. Soto's going to be clutch. Lindor is captain clutch, and he should be the captain. But let me know in the chat right now before we wrap up. Let us know your predictions for the game today. We are reading your comments. This is live. This is our first Mets Daily live show. Let us know before we go your comments in the chat. We are reading them. We want to know your predictions. Do the Mets win today? What's your score? I didn't give out awards yesterday. When I talk about awards, my MVP is obvious. It's Juan Soto. I think Juan Soto is going to have a 40, 110 year. He's going to have an OBP over 400. He's my Mets MVP. X Factor, Brandon Nimmo when it comes to the lineup because of his health. Can he stay healthy? And can Brandon Nimmo get back to being that high on-base guy? He had a bad year in terms of on-base last year. Can Brandon Nimmo get back to being a guy that gets on base at a 380 clip? Because if you're going to have Juan Soto at 400, 420, and then Nimmo at batting 4th or 5th with a 380 OBP like he used to be, he's an X factor to me in that lineup. And then the pitching staff, Clay Holmes is my X factor today. Clay Holmes, can he be an elite level starting pitcher? I'm confident what the Mets are going to get from Manaea when he gets back. I'm confident in Senga. I'm confident in Peterson. Clay Holmes, to me, is the X factor. Will his stuff play as a starter? Will he last as a starter? And can he get through this season without getting hurt as a starting pitcher with so many more innings than he's ever used to? So Clay Holmes, Brandon Nimmo, my X factors. And who's a sleeper? Who's going to have a big year who a lot of people are sleeping on? Luisangel Acuna. I just think he's getting so little respect by this team. He's lazy. He's not, he's not having fun. There is no energy. That plays like he doesn't care. I think Luisangel Acuna is going to shut a lot of haters up, and it's going to start today. I think Acuna is going to show you why he's bored at AAA, because he's a big leaguer. So when you talk about a sleeper, maybe a guy who may not play every day, who's going to play a factor on the 2025 Mets, I think it's Acuna, that guy. I'm still not that high on Brett Beatty. I'm rooting for him. I don't believe he's going to be. Everyone's like, Beatty's my major factor. He's going to be big. When is he playing? Like when Jeff McNeil comes back, when is he playing? You can say the same about Acuna, but I do think Acuna is more of an impact because of his glove and his ability to steal bases, come into games late, and maybe make an impact. Where I just don't see a role as much for the full year as Brett Beatty. So that's why I'm not on the Brett Beatty is going to be my sleeper pick. Acuna's my sleeper for these Mets. And Max Kranick out of the bullpen. If you want to pick a reliever, I think Max Kranick is going to be a guy to keep an eye on out of this bullpen. I think he could really become a dominant piece out of the Mets pen. This guy grew up a Mets fan. He's playing with a chip on his shoulder. He has not pitched in the big league since 2022. So Max Kranick is the name I'm keeping an eye on. So starting pitcher X Factor, Holmes. Starting player X Factor, Brandon Nimmo. Relief X Factor, Max Kranick. And off the bench, role utility player, Luisangel Acuna. Those are the X factors. But the Mets' kryptonite will be injuries. Can they stay healthy? They've already had some key ones with McNeil, with Alvarez, with Montas, with Manaea. Can these guys get back, and can this team stay healthy so they don't have to go to the depths of the minors and go to Genesis Cabrera and go to Joey Meneses and go to, Sean Reed Foley? Can they get enough out of this team that's on the roster and these guys that are here, and can they stay on the field? We'll see. 4-3 Mets over the Astros today. Happy opening day. It's Christmas, everyone. We're fired up, excited. You see the lineup. You see Juan Soto in it. It's a thing of beauty, and we can't wait. 4:10 p.m., so figure around 7 p.m. we'll be back. If it's a tie game in the ninth, we'll go live during the ninth inning on here, you guys. But thank you so much for those who did come into the live. This is an experiment for us, but looks like it went well, and we'll keep it going. We appreciate it. Please subscribe to Mets Daily. Smash that thumbs up on this video. It really helps. Comments help. The comments live help, but afterwards, comment on the video as well. We appreciate that. I'm Jake Brown, at Jake Brown Radio on all social. Thank you for watching. When we talk next, we'll know if the Mets are 0-1 or 1-0. How about that? How long have we waited for that? This offseason, we were itching from what the Mets did for us. It was a little bit of a shorter offseason than usual since the Mets played into late October. But we hope we're playing into early November in a World Series. And I think the Mets beat the Red Sox in the World Series. Thank you, everyone, for watching Mets Daily. We appreciate it. And we'll talk to you after the game. Enjoy Mets baseball. Let's go, Mets. Let's go, Mets. Let's go, Mets. Enjoy Mets Astros. Happy birthday, Clay Holmes. And we'll talk to you in just a few hours. Happy opening day, everybody. Thanks for watching.